You ready to go?
Mm-hmm.
I'm ready. Feeling ready today, right?
Yep.
All right, sound check. The sound's been kind of loud the past couple of days, so hopefully you've got that under control.
Yeah.
All right, ready to go?
Yeah.
Let's lock in. All right, hello and welcome back to another 5K tennis discussion. Hopefully everybody is doing well. It is Friday, and it's always nice for Fridays because Saturdays and Sundays are filled with tennis lessons. It's one of our favorite things to do, and it's considered work, but I don't believe work is something you enjoy doing. All right. If we cut out, sorries in advance, we'll start a part 2. If the sound is loud, let me know in comments. We're still trying to figure that out. But let's start with the first and most important topic. What's up, Ben? How are you? And that topic is revolving around Rafael Nadal ending his 2021 tennis season. We have talked about for the past couple of weeks about a bet that Carla had been entertaining with all of you. She had been trying to decide whether or not she was going to get her first and only tattoo. And she made a bet with all of you that if Rafael Nadal did not win the U.S. Open, that she would get that first tattoo. Rafael Nadal has pulled out. So put a poll question in there. Does Carla still have to get her tattoo even though Rafael Nadal pulled out before the tournament started? I think she should.
No, but he pulled out. He didn't even play.
I think a lot of you indicated that, Carla's like a Ferrari, and who in the hell puts a bumper sticker on a Ferrari? So anyway, but your thoughts on that, let's vote on it. All right, now down to the real topic. Rafael Nadal ends the 2021 season. Carla, since that's your favorite player by far, what's your feedback? What's your feelings? Where do you think he goes from here, and how serious do you think the injury is? And then pause when you're done, and I'll tell you my take on this.
I think it sucks that he has to end the season. I think the French Open took a lot out of him. Djokovic beating him. Apparently some type of foot injury, some type of bone from, I think Gene sent me a message, something that's rare and serious. I mean, he knows his body. He's done this before. There's been times where he hasn't played the U.S. Open or the sound is too loud. So you're right about that.
How is it now? Thank you for that, Ben. Tell me if it's too loud still. I just turned it down. Thank you.
I mean, we've seen him, many times not play certain Grand Slams because of injuries. The guy knows his body. It is what it is. I mean, I hate it that he's not playing, but I said that in order for Nadal to win, Djokovic would have to lose to someone else. Otherwise, he wouldn't win the U.S. Open. So, I mean, I'm not that bummed out. Again, guys, I'm a fan, but I'm not obsessed with tennis players. So, I mean, really, the U.S. Open's the only tournament that was important that he's missing.
When I woke up this morning, Carla got me up at around 5:50 this morning. I had been tossing and turning since about 5, but we always drink coffee in the morning, and she brought me coffee at around 5:50, and I just opened my eyes up. It wasn't good morning. Her first words were, and I quote, "Do I still have to get my tattoo because Rafael Nadal pulled out of the U.S. Open?" That was the first thing on her mind as the sun came up, right?
Yeah, because I feel like he didn't even play. So, I mean, should cancel out. He didn't even get a chance to play. So, I mean, the bet shouldn't even take place,
Thanks, Ben. He's given us a thumbs up on the sound, so appreciate that.
In a way, I'm relieved.
Yeah, I wouldn't be really relieved here, and from someone who
no. The bet was that he would win, but he didn't even get to play, so it's like he didn't exist.
I think she should get it.
You even said, "Baby," and I quote, "You don't have to get this tattoo. He's not playing."
All right. The reason why this is a concerning injury is for a couple of reasons. I speak from a lot of credibility. I've had a lot of surgeries, tennis related. I've had 2 shoulder surgeries. I've had 1 ruptured patellar tendon that cost me a year out of the game. I changed the whole dynamics of my knee, the way it looks, the way it works. So I get it. The reason why this is a dangerous injury is for a couple of reasons. Number one, most players have the opportunity to choose whether or not they want to play or not play. Can they play through the pain? Is it okay to play through the pain? There's things like painkillers, and we've done a whole show on leaning towards painkillers and what the problems are post-career, addictions and so forth. I'm not going to get into that again. There are things such as painkillers, narcotics that are readily available for the players to play through pain. Nadal has played through pain a lot over the years. This is a little bit different. He doesn't have the option to play through pain. This is an injury in the top kind of, what are they called? The carpals or the metacarpals, tarpals in the foot, the bones that run along the top of the foot, like your hand. And it's like a runner. Runners get these stress fractures in the top of the foot, and some are worse than others. Nadal beats his feet consistently. He's a ground pounder. He pounds the ground. That's his game. When this type of injury develops, it's hard to heal because we're human beings and we walk on our feet. So every time we walk, and this bone needs to gel, heal, to calcify, to harden up again, and to get strong again. But every time we take a step, we aggravate that area in the foot. So he didn't have the option to play through pain because his foot wouldn't heal. The problem with this is once this injury begins, you're very susceptible to it moving forward. I used to run marathons.
Is this like the stuff that I get on?
It's similar, but worse. Yeah, like runner's foot. For a couple of years of my life, I got into marathon running, and I would run around 26.2 miles a day. And this started. It became chronic. It became something that I couldn't shake off no matter what. And it stopped my ability to run that distance because it would flare up all the time. And it was really painful, and you couldn't walk through it. Now, his injury is a little bit different, but the same type of scenario, but worse. So that's the interesting thing, is he did not have a choice to play through the pain, and he's only getting older. So I think it's a significant injury. These type of injuries can be career ending if he doesn't treat it right, and it could very well be.
Sister Queen said this is a chronic foot disease. Don't see how it will get better with age.
Exactly. Exactly. This is a potential career-ending injury. And does anyone know who Deion Sanders is? He's now a commentator, and he played for the Atlanta Braves as well. He played for a lot of NFL football teams, the Cowboys, the 49ers. Anyway, one of my favorite athletes of all time, primetime Deion, right? He had an injury called turf toe. It was in the toe. It was non-impact related. It was just the way that he ran for so many years. It caused a toe issue. And this is similar to a turf toe, yet it's in the top of the foot, and it ended Deion Sanders' Hall of Fame career. So something to think about. So all you Nadal fans, again, I think Carla said it perfectly. She loves Nadal, but she's not. It's not just one player she looks at.
It's not the end of the world for me. I'm not even sad about it, honestly. When I saw the news, I was like, whew, I don't have to get a tattoo anyways. But then I thought the second thing that went into my head was Medvedev. I was like, let's go Medvedev. Here's your chance to win the U.S. Open. That was the second thought. And the third thought was Djokovic is going to have a hard time with him.
So Ben asked, what's the best way to make his injury better? I think getting some rest would help. That's the only thing at this point. A surgical intervention is not going to work, nor do you want to open up the foot. The foot podiatrist, you got to give love to podiatrists because the foot is always hot. We walk on it. In other words, the blood flow is usually pretty good in the feet. So when we open up the feet, we run into a risk of infection times 10. We don't want to really inject the foot or do too much puncturing of the thin skin in the foot because we open ourselves up to really, really tough diseases and bacteria. Ask Serena Williams. Serena Williams had a almost career-ending a crazy accident by stepping on a piece of glass on the beach. You mess around with the foot and it can get hot real quick and you can lose that damn leg. But luckily this isn't invasive, but you don't want to make it invasive. So rest, yes, is the key. But again, Sister the Queen said it right. Age in this, it's not a good solution, right? They're not solvent of one another generally. So watch out. Nadal could have played his last entire year, or maybe potentially, depending on how bad the pain is, maybe his last tournament.
We've said this a lot, though. I remember many years ago when he was starting to get injured, the knees, all that stuff, we would say the same thing, and he came back and won. Sister the Queen says, does Rafa win another slam is the question. He can. He would just have to pick the right slam, right? He's still young.
Well, I think
you even said, in the morning, he'll be fine. He's still young.
Can you repeat that question? Rafael Nadal would need to pick the right slam. Is that really a question? Of course he's going to pick the French Open.
Duh. I'm just saying, duh. That's what I was saying. Just pick the right slams, and you'll win.
Now, I saw this guy 1000 jump on. What's up? He sent right before I was preparing to put this on a stream or whatever. He sent a comment. I didn't ask him, but it's a good comment. It's a debatable comment. I don't think I'm going to hurt anybody's feelings with this one, but it's a good comment. So I'm going to read his comment and tell me if you would kind of venture down this path or not. So this guy 1000 says, Federer, Nadal, and Thiem have all ended their season in the space of a week. I would just like to point out that I don't think it's a coincidence that Novak Djokovic is having this kind of success in 1 year while his biggest rivals are all on crutches. Is that something that is worth. I mean, do you feel this way? Do you feel like Novak Djokovic's success has been because of the downturn of the other two?
No, and I'm saying, and I'm a Nadal fan. No, I think Djokovic has proven he beat Nadal at the French Open without an injury. Don't tell me that Nadal was injured at the French Open. He wasn't. He was just better. The Australian Open is his. He owns it. Wimbledon too. He's done really well.
Yeah.
It had nothing to do with Nadal, Federer. I mean, Federer was even non-existent in these slams. Nadal, did he even play Wimbledon?
No, he didn't play Wimbledon.
And it's not like he would have won it anyway. So, no, I don't think so. He won in 2011. Did he win in 2015 as well? No. Those guys were fine.
Yeah, now the issue with Nadal's foot, we can't say that Nadal's injury was not at the French. He just didn't mention it, right? But this is a foot disease that causes foot issues, deterioration and pain in the foot. So it was definitely there because it's not just an onset disease, but nonetheless, it's here now. But Rafael Nadal has always a chance to win the French Open. But his type of style of play there, it's so grinding and so long-winded and so involved. If that foot doesn't heal, then he's not going to be able to play that.
Yes, agreed.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, I agree.
But now, mentions that Federer is kind of on crutches now. Well, the past couple of years, I've mentioned that Federer has been for a long time. So I think Federer has been on crutches, hypothetically, quote unquote, for a while. But Novak Djokovic has been beating Federer and Nadal and owns them both head to head over his entire career. So he's always had success over both, and he's always had the head-to-head advantage, or has had the head-to-head advantage for a long time now over both. So I don't think it's a recent coincidence. I just think Djokovic is that much better than both right now. It's not Djokovic's fault that both of these guys are injured. It's not Djokovic's fault Federer is 40. It's not Djokovic's fault that Rafa has some foot issues at this point. So he's just doing his thing. But it's a great comment. I can see where it comes from.
We can say the same thing, that the reason that Federer and Nadal won both their slams in the same year was because Djokovic was not playing.
But a great comment nonetheless.
But wouldn't you think it would be the same thing? Remember when Djokovic was hurt? Yeah. Federer won 2. Nadal won 2.
Right.
We could say the same thing. You have to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Yeah. It's not out of the question. No, I do get where he's coming from, and it's very much a debatable topic, right? Let us know in comments. What do you think? Is Djokovic's recent incredibly good tennis play just because Nadal and Federer have been on crutches? Maybe so, maybe not. What are your thoughts on that one? All right, moving forward. Last night, Naomi Osaka lost to Teichmann, the Swiss player who will face Belinda Bencic in the next round. By the way, watch out for Belinda Bencic. She's playing really good tennis right now. Muchova did kind of pull out of the match last night, mid-match. I mean, prior to the U.S. Open, you know players like Muchova and some of these favorite type players that have a chance to go deep in the tournament are not going to aggravate nagging little injuries. I didn't see where Muchova, quit because she did. Yeah, she was apologetic about it and gracefully walked off court. Back to the Osaka match. We watched this match. I found that Teichmann was able to frustrate Naomi Osaka by hitting a lot of loopy moon balls. By adding variety, she would push Naomi back with a deep moon ball and throw Naomi's pace off and then hit pace too. So she was really mixing up very well. I don't think that Teichmann's going to get through Bencic. It's possible, but I think Osaka, by the way, looked a little bit out of shape. Now, you guys can hate on me all you want, but if you go to that Osaka match when she's about to serve and hit pause on the television, if you have the ability to do so, and look at her face and look at her arms, like the bicep area of the arms. Her face is pretty puffy right now, and her arms are pretty puffy. I say this as a coach and a coach that actively talks with all his students, male or female, about staying in shape. She looked puffy. I don't know how else to say it. She looked puffy. Now, when she was a child,
looked puffy at the Australian Open.
When she was a child, if you've seen any of her junior tennis pictures, she was a little puffy then. So I don't know. I don't know if that had anything to do with her losing, but she seemed a little bit out of shape to me.
I disagree with you. I thought that she looked more out of shape at the Australian Open, which she won, right?
Yeah.
I didn't find that she was really that out of shape. Maybe 5 pounds. Maybe she needs to just work out a little more. I didn't see that she was really out of shape. I disagree with that. I think that we're being really nitpicking on the girls. Like, you know, oh, you got a little bit of fat here, a little bit.
I didn't say fat. I said puffy. When you see a player that's puffy, it's generally a sign of water retention.
Well,
if you're retaining water, generally you're not working out as much as you should because you're not getting the sweat out of what you're putting in.
She's not that bad. It's not that
bad.
The
thing with Carla is when she picks a player that she really wants to be her favorite and then they do bad, she makes up excuses and takes out for them. She's puffy, Carla. She's puffy.
Justin,
she played awful. She played awful. The reason she
played awful. She lost the match because she played awful. You said it.
In my opinion, and Ben and Jean just basically said it perfect. Ben says that Osaka was way too defensive and needs to add variety. That's exactly what Teichmann did. Added variety, made Osaka move a little bit. And is it possible that her being a little bit on the puffy side broke her movement down and did not? She's a big hitter. She doesn't have a lot of variety. She needs to add some variety, just like Ben said.
I think B-Dog said the same thing.
And if you're not moving very well and you're not super light on the feet and getting your feet set and getting to your spot on the court where you can swing freely, then we lose. And I think that's what happened. And like Jean said, Osaka was terrible yesterday. I don't think it was terrible. I think her fitness let her down. And think about it. Just like B-Dog has been saying for the past couple of weeks, Naomi Osaka should have never mentioned a mental health issue because now she has to constantly act that way. Otherwise, it'll look like she, was lying to everybody. And I really feel like that mental processes, cognitive processes, mixed in with your physical processes, they come together and build your tennis package. And I don't think mentally she's super sound out there right now because she's so wrapped up into this whole narratives that she found herself now in.
I think people play bad matches. I think she just needs a few more matches. She hasn't played some in quite a while. I think she'll be fine for the U.S. Open. I still believe she could win the U.S. Open, even after her loss.
She had the light blue tank top on yesterday with a knot in the back that all the girls are wearing, at least that are Nike players or Nike sponsored, and it looked like she had a little, not a belly, but it looked like she had a little pot sticking out there. So
maybe a little bit.
She looked, she had a little pot. Her arms were puffy.
Like I said, she needs to play more. Maybe play wind. Whatever. No, that's for the guys. Maybe, I don't know, get a few matches in, practice matches. She does need a new matches under her belt, but I feel like she's still a strong contender at the U.S. Open. I still think it's going to be tough to beat her at a slam. I think, a smaller tournament, okay, so what? People lose. I mean, some people are quitting because they don't want to hurt themselves before the U.S. Open. I think if you watch Osaka, even when she played golf, she's so – I told B-Dog, I said, if she could just translate how mentally tough she is on the tennis court to the way she speaks on interviews, she would be so much better, because you could tell she believes in herself. And for me, I still pick her. I pick her. I pick Barty. I pick Pliskova. And I think I have somebody else I picked. But I still believe that she could win the U.S. Open.
This may sound stupid, but I mean, all in all, we're all just dumb human beings in the grand scheme of things. But Naomi Osaka, I think, could gain a lot by taking one college class, and that college class be public speaking. She could go into a local university or a night school, a community college, wherever it may be, and take one class with a classroom of people that she can get to know, and she can practice public speaking. I think if she can do that, I think her future will be much brighter. But right now, I think she is stuck in this absolute narrative because she spoke from the hip without prepping what she was going to say and understanding what she may be asked and wasn't prepared for it. And it really put her in this spot that I think now is hitting her on all fronts. I think it's best that she addresses her weak spot, her Achilles heel, which is speaking.
She just needs to keep speaking.
And practice that.
Yes.
And put it together with her champion tennis game. And maybe she can develop into that all-in-one package. Now, we listened to Coco Gauff the other day at her young age be asked by the media, how do you deal with the media at such a young age? She just answered something along the lines of, I love it. I feel free with it. I love interacting with you. And that's because she's comfortable doing it. We're always uncomfortable doing things that we don't know well. I was in the car business for a while as a dealership manager of a Ford dealership. And I would always tell my service advisors that if they didn't know the product, it would be impossible for you to sell it because you'll be stuttering when they ask you questions and having to say, I don't know, let me go get someone all the time. So you lose your ability to sell. She loses her ability to sell herself to all of you and all of us because of her inability to deliver the speaking product. And that is something that a professional athlete must do. So I suggest that she take maybe a day or two off at the tennis court and start putting a night or two in a week, practicing her public speaking behind closed doors in a private college class.
Zest for Life says TM bombed in Cincy before winning the U.S. Open last year. Osaka can still do it.
Good knowledge drop. Now, I think it was Yin Hao Kaur a moment ago. What's up, Yin Hao Kaur? He wrote a minute ago, can Dominic Thiem bounce back strong and do well next year? I think so. I think he is just as of a psychological hiccup right now as, say, Osaka is. TM is burnout.
But he's injured too.
Yes. But he mentioned that he was having kind of a mental time with the game as well. And we go through these things. You know, there's an old saying, one and done. There are athletes across multiple sports that they get that one major and they feel like there's nothing more to do and they lose the edge mentally.
Do you think he got injured? Because you mentioned a lot when mentally you're not feeling well, you get injured.
You get injured,
he got injured, his wrist?
It's possible. When we don't feel well, we're not 100% mentally or physically. Let's look at Simone Biles. This is a perfect example. Simone Biles, the gymnast, as you know, pulled out of the Olympics because she had something called the twisties. You know, you're not 100% there. It's really dangerous for someone like that if they're not 100% there, because if they miss jump or miss twist or spin, you know, they end up paralyzed for the rest of their life. It's the same thing here. Sometimes if we are not doing, if we're not mentally 100%, our body isn't either. When I ruptured my patellar tendon, I was playing Carla a match, just a normal match. We've played thousands of them. And I was going for an overhead and I was upset. I wasn't mentally there. And I jumped up at a ball I had no business going for. It was way too high for me, but I tried to think I was 17 again and, you know, get up there, and I swung and missed, fell off balance, looked down, and I was up higher than I had been in a long time. And then I came down on my leg the wrong way and my leg snapped in half. So still to this day, I look back on that telling myself I should have never done that. I should have never even been on the court.
Yeah.
Today we were playing a match this morning and I told Carla.
That was yesterday.
Well, this morning yesterday. And I told Carla, I was like, I need to stop. She was like, why? And I was like, because my mind, it's not setting right with my feet. And I think I'm going to injure myself.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, he can come back, but can he psychologically come back? And that's a question that any high level athlete has to ask. What about Conor McGregor? Can Conor McGregor come back?
He quit. Didn't he quit? That's it. He's done.
No, I think he's still experimenting with the comeback. But
Jack Nolte says, what do you think U.S. Open without Rafa Roger? Does it make less interesting or not even see them play? I think it'll still be interesting. Djokovic is playing, and Djokovic obviously attracts a lot of fans, a lot of booers. I think it'll be fine. You guys watched Zverev and Thiem in the final, so why wouldn't you watch this?
I mean, it's a great question. This will be a test to
Nadal didn't play last year, neither did Federer.
This will be a test to the TV ratings this year. It'll be a test of what's in the future for watching men's tennis. This U.S. Open, I think we'll get a good look at what the future will be. I still do think that it's still Novak Djokovic and everybody else. Now, I've never heard Carla say this, but this morning when she woke me up after telling me that she didn't have to get her tattoo after Nadal pulled out of the tournament, which I still think she should, but she also said that now that Nadal is out, I am in 100% on Medvedev winning the U.S. Open.
Yeah.
I don't think Medvedev even makes.
I will be rooting for him.
I don't know.
Rooting for him, rooting for Tsitsipas, but I don't think Tsitsipas. I feel like the French Open affected him big time. But I'm going to root for Medvedev at the U.S. Open.
So Carla is going to be rooting for someone that has no net game.
You don't need a net game at the U.S. Open.
Djokovic beat him last time
at Wimbledon.
Okay. Anyway,
was it Wimbledon?
Carla is rooting for someone with A, no net game. Right. Mm-hmm. And B, she's rooting for Tsitsipas, who's a little spastic little kid that, you know, beats his dad with tennis rackets.
Or my third one would be Zverev. One of them needs to win it.
And you're going to talk about puppy haters, your third favorite?
No, I feel like those three need to win a tournament.
You know who? Okay. If I didn't have to select Novak Djokovic to win the U.S. Open, I think he will win it, obviously. You know who my second choice would be? Casper Ruud.
Oh, my God.
Tennis
has been ruined.
Casper Ruud. I'm going to take Casper Ruud.
If Casper Ruud wins, wow.
I'm going to take Casper Ruud. And if I get Casper Ruud as a 2-point pick, what's Casper Ruud's current ranking?
I don't know.
What's Casper Ruud's current ranking? Someone give it to me.
Casper Ruud. Ouch.
What's Casper Ruud's current ranking?
I don't know.
Give me Casper Ruud. What's his current ranking? Someone
See.
got it? Ruud. Who you got? Casper Ruud.
Her Casper Ruud. You're delusional.
What's his current ranking?
Thank you, fans.
What's his current ranking? What's his current ranking?
Delusional.
What's his current ranking?
ROL. Casper. That's what I said.
What's his current ranking?
I don't know. Look it up.
Oh, he's number 11.
Come on, dude.
Look,
Casper Ruud.
But you're asking me, who am I going to pick if Djokovic isn't in the picture? Medvedev has no net game as long as someone has the tactics.
And Casper Ruud does.
As long as someone has the tactics to draw Medvedev to the net all the time, like at point, then get Medvedev out of here. Zverev is so up and down and double faults with the best of them in the world. Get him out of here. Who's your other pick?
Sister Queen said, what? Casper Ruud?
Okay, I'll make a bet with you guys. I'll make a bet. Okay.
He said Ruud, I don't think, but if he wins, it'll be the most surprising thing this year.
Okay, let me make a bet with all you guys. I make a bet that Casper Ruud makes at least the quarterfinals. Does anyone want to take that bet? It's not a bad bet.
I'll take the bet.
It's not a bad bet given that you're all laughing at me anyway.
I'll take the bet for sure.
Okay, let's go. Okay. If Casper Ruud makes at least the quarterfinals, your tattoo is back on.
That's fine. He won't.
Yes! Let's go! Woo!
He won't. That's
Come on!
Casper Ruud can lose to anyone.
Put it back in paper. Put it back in paper. And Gene Swart just came out and say, oh yeah, and Sonic Moj, love the comment. Please don't say sissy pass. Can any children out there plug their ears when I tell you? Can any children out there plug their ears right now while I tell you my nickname for Sistipas when we joke about it? You can spell. Can I say this?
Yeah.
You can spell tits and ass out of his name. So I call Sistipas Titsy Ass.
Every time he comes out,
I'm like, oh, there's Titsy Ass. All right, but yeah, so Titsy Ass. Yeah, I'm with you, Sonic Matt. Yeah, I'm with you, bro. Okay, the bet is back on. Her tattoo bet is back on. Remember it. If Casper Ruud makes the quarterfinals, her tattoo is back on. And by the way, if you get that tattoo, I'm going to go to the tattoo shop with you. And I can't probably film the shop, but I'm going to put the tattoo on the tattoo gun and I'm going to film it. And I'm going to get some pictures of your face all going, all getting all crazy.
Man, I get birth to 5 kids.
That.
Do you think I'm going to scream with a needle?
No, you'll be all right. It's not that bad.
I've done kids without an epidural. It'll be fine. It can't be more painful than having no epidural giving birth.
Millennium 13 Constantine. Great to hear from you, bro.
So my picks are Medvedev, Sissipas. No, I'm thinking the people I think that are going to win. I'm not saying that's what I'm going to pick on my fantasy
Now,
group.
hey, for all of you, though, that are getting excited about the U.S. Open, don't forget that we are doing a $300 cash giveaway for anyone that can predict the men's finalists, the women's finalists, and both winners. Or if you don't want the $300 cash, I'll send you any tennis racket that you want. I'll buy it from you, brand new, and send it to you from the manufacturer. And then we're doing fantasy teams in a separate competition. And we have a separate video on this playlist. And you can watch it. It tells you the rules, and you'll enter your picks there. And we're doing 2 winners, $50 each for fantasy teams. So these type of picks that Carla's telling you are good knowledge drops.
Well, I'm just saying, for me, I'm not saying I'm doing it in my fantasy, but I'm saying, like, if I had to pick winners, I would say Medvedev, Tsitsipas, Djokovic, and Zverev. Those are the 4 that I think could win the U.S. Open.
Can win it?
Yes.
That can win it.
Can win it. I'm not saying that's my pick.
Okay, picks to win it. Yes. Djokovic, obviously.
Yes,
Medvedev, even though he has no net game.
Yes, Tsitsipas and Zverev are the strongest there.
I still think you got to put Casper Ruud in there. I do.
Instead of Casper Ruud, I'd rather put someone like Berrettini than Casper Ruud.
Berrettini could be in there as well,
yeah,
but Djokovic, just handled Berrettini like nothing recently. Mm-hmm. So watch out for Casper Ruud, though. You guys think I'm kidding?
Jack notes he's like Andy Murray for U.S. Open. Go Andy with tears.
Watch out for that.
Yeah.
Lock it in. Tattoo bet is back on. All right. Excuse me. Carolina Pliskova last night finally beats Jessica Pegula.
I don't think so, Michael Walker.
Michael Walker says, will U.S. Open ticket sales be down this year?
You know why I don't think so?
It could. This Delta variant.
Why I don't think so? Because people want to get out. New York, they've been on lockdown. They've been very strict with them. They want to get out.
Yeah, but you got this whole Delta variant
here
thing.
In Alabama's the worst. We're the worst state. Did you know that?
Well, I know, but the politicians here don't talk about shutting anything down because that's against their political beliefs, right?
Fired. They can't.
But Carolina Pliskova last night finally beats Jessica Pegula.
Good for her.
Yeah, and good for Pegula, by the way. Pegula honestly has no reason outside of her love and fight for the game to fight. Why do I say that? Because her father's a billionaire. So in other words, she's the heiress. She's like the Heinz lady. She doesn't have to be doing this, and she does it. This is why I like Pegula, because she has no reason under the sun outside of pure love of the game to play, because she's set for life as well as her children and any future children's children, right? And she's here. Pliskova yesterday pulled a statement out of Carla's mouth. Carla came to me at the same time that this match was ongoing and said that Pliskova was one of her favorites to win the U.S. Open. Do you agree with Carla or not? Now, why is this a big deal that she said that? Because for 3 years, I've told all of you how I have a man crush on Pliskova. I think Pliskova's hot. I love her. She's awesome. And everyone laughed at me, including her. But now all of a sudden, she beats Jessica Pegula. And you think she's the favorite?
Justin, I said it way before that. I said it when she was playing Georgie in the final at Montreal. I said it way before. The only reason I said that is because I was watching her play, right? I was watching her play, and I said, okay, she's playing with a little bit more fire in her. Like, she really wants this. I mean, she lost to Georgie, which I thought was crazy, but I feel like her game suits her well at the U.S. Open, the type of game that she has. And if she could just show a little bit more emotion, then she'll do fine.
Fans 2497 said exactly what you always say. Can you read that comment? Read that comment.
He says, you couldn't pay me enough money to watch Pliskova Pegula. They have no personality in the court. I agree with you. That's why I always call her zombie girl, because she has no emotion. It's almost like,
yeah, great comment there. You and Carla are great friends on that one.
Totally agree. I'm picking her not because I like her. I don't like her. She's boring. Like Murray's boring to watch.
What's her name?
Like Casper Ruud is boring to watch. Like Felix Auger-Aliassime is boring to watch. They're boring players. Even her catch is boring to watch.
I like her catch, though.
Boring to watch. No personalities. Boring. But, their tennis game, hey, Pliskova could win a U.S. Open. Just saying.
All right. How about a poll question?
Sure.
Do you think Pliskova is a favorite to win the U.S. Open? I do. I've picked Pliskova on my fantasy team every U.S. Open, every Wimbledon, and every Australian Open since doing this show until like the last 2 tournaments. I think that when you play the fantasy teams with us, it's hard to pick players that are only worth 1 point per match win if they're up and down.
I'll ask the question.
At least in majors, right?
Yinghouse have to ask, when you say one personality, what are you looking for specifically? Engaging the crowd, getting pumped up, but not exaggerating after winning a point. Fighting, having those eyes like you want to fight, changing it up, smiling when it's the right time to smile. Get mad and not smash a racket, Just looked engaged, and not the same walk. Something even when you interview.
Well,
my name is Carolina Pliskova. Yes, I played well. Yes, it's like, come on. And her catch is kind of the same. Kind of the same. I don't know. They have the same personality. Got to have something different. Coco Gauff, they do their interviews. She's fun. She's fun to watch. Agassi, the reason why people liked him, he was fun. He would joke around a little bit. It was just different. Even Andy Roddick had a potty mouth. It made him different.
I think whether you like court conduct like Pliskova or Pegula, or whether you like court conduct like Kyrgios or sometimes Djokovic or Monfils or whatever, it depends on what school of tennis you like. Now, let's say someone like my 82-year-old father, who was my first coach of many, but my first coach and still an avid player to this day, and an avid fan thereof. That's what he wants to see on the court. He wants to see people wear all white, to have no emotion, to not say, come on, just to keep their mouth shut, to keep their head down and go out there and win the match, win or lose, to shake your hand at the net and to walk off the court together to the locker room as a team and bow to everybody as you leave. He's 82 and he is 100% conservative tennis. He likes the old school stuff. Now, let me go to the other way. I understand that.
Yes.
Now, there's the other side of it. That likes to see the fire. Come on, let's dig deep and let's go and rip your shirt off, and all this stuff. I the old school meeting the new school, and that's an endless debate. It's kind of like hitting with a wooden tennis racket versus a graphite tennis racket, or hitting with polyester strings versus synthetics or gut. It's pick your poison. Different strokes for different folks. It doesn't make you a bad player. It doesn't make shit. There's no proof that if Pliskova started acting like Kyrgios, that she would be better. There's no proof that if Roger Federer started acting like Djokovic, that he would win another major.
But Federer has personality, baby. I'm talking about Murray. When you watch him, he's like, ooh, ooh, ooh. It's like, damn, I just got depressed watching you, dude.
So you get depressed when you watch Andy Murray?
I get depressed watching him. When I watch Felix, I'm like trying to keep my eyes open, you know? I'm not saying act like a clown, but, you know, Barty I can watch, and they say she's boring. I don't think she is. She has a beautiful game. When she wins a point, she's like, come on.
She has variety.
She's like, let's go. You know, stuff like that. I'm not saying, come on, like Daniel Collins, but I'm saying have some emotion. And Pliskova doesn't have that. We saw a little bit of it, you know, like someone said, yeah, Wimbledon. But, you know, that's what makes players fun. You want to engage with them. You know, Tsitsipas has that great personality. Even Puppy Hater has it, you know?
Yeah.
Even Medvedev, you know, he jokes and says little jokes.
Yeah, Michael Walker makes a good comment. I like Borg, but I can appreciate Novak. But Danielle Collins and Serena and Osaka, their come-ons are legendary. Who are some of the loudest people that go, come on, all the time? Danielle Collins has to take that.
Yeah.
Danielle Collins is a freaking maestro at it. And look, you know, there's some people that love it and they love to see that, but there's some people that consider it nothing more than a loud squeal and they want to turn the volume down. So it just depends. And I think there's times where you say, come on, and it's acceptable because of the thick of the fight. But I've heard some of these girls say, come on, when the other player double falls.
Oh, you don't even have to say, come on. You could just go like this in their face. But Chris Cooper says the no-show from Lefty reminds me of the end of 2016 season.
Interesting.
Yeah. Okay.
And Josh Heineck says Medvedev cracks me up.
Yeah, he's funny.
He's a fun guy. He's a fun guy.
It's like someone that you can go chill with at the locker, joke around, and be like, "Hey, man, what you think?" You know, he's a crack a joke.
Yeah, and do you remember when Medvedev and Tsitsipas got into a little pissing contest on the court? Even watching Medvedev get up in Tsitsipas's face was kind of funny. We were watching that live, and Carla was like, "Uh-oh, Tsitsipas about to get his ass kicked." Yeah, the Russian's about to tear his ass up, right?
Lane Hewitt. Yeah, I couldn't stand his commands. Come on. I couldn't. I found him so annoying.
Look, Leighton Hewitt, great player. Was definitely one of those in my era.
Least favorite.
But my least favorite. Yeah,
yes.
I don't think I would ever rush home to watch when I was younger. Leighton Hewitt. I was just catch the score. I was always hoping for the opponent and those. No disrespect to him, but I just didn't care for Hewitt.
No, I didn't either. Another match that we were watching was Monfils and Rublev.
Okay, let's go with that.
He struggled in that match. He had played a 3-setter before that. Here's why I give them good sportsmanship, both of them.
Rublev and Monfils.
Monfils didn't want to interrupt, and he kept telling the chairman, I don't want to interrupt him on his serve or something like that.
Because he was sick.
He was sick, that he got to him. He threw up, actually. You know, and then Rublev got pissed about it. He said, "You've been doing this he's been doing this for 7 years."
Which is true.
Every time he loses, 7 years. Come on. Now he's running. He was upset about it. Monfils, before he served, he said, "Do you think I made myself throw up, man? You know, do you really think?" And he came up to the net, and so did Rublev. I thought they were going to go at it. "Sorry, man, I don't feel good. You really think I made, you know?" And then Rublev realized, hey, they gave each other a fist pump.
Yeah.
He realized, all right, man. Yeah, I get it.
So, look, with Monfils, first of all, I must say that we've talked about Monfils all year, and Carla and I have followed Monfils fresh out of juniors. Monfils has always been a very fun guy, a very electric. Hope that's not killing us. Are we still good?
Just go ahead.
It looks like we might be glitching over there. So remember, if it cuts out, we started talking about Monfils on part 2. We good out there? We good?
I'll find out. Go ahead.
Anyway, we've always loved Monfils. He's always brought great energy to the locker room. Jack Nolte, let us know if it's cleared up. It showed us it might. But Monfils has always been good energy in the locker room. He's always been a heck of a good player. Monfils has always been, though, at the same time, somewhat of a clown. He's had a long history of pulling shenanigans on the court, acting crazy, you know, hunching over like he can't go, only to get up and play the most energetic point of his life. There's nothing new. Let me know if the connection cuts out, and I'll jot down where so we can resume the show on the notes.
I'm watching it from So far,
Everything's good.
So far, it's good for me.
All right. So sorry about that, everyone. I wish there was something we could do about it. But last night, the good sportsmanship was stemming from bad sportsmanship. Mm-hmm. So Rublev was pissed off. Monfils was visibly agitated and a little bit sick. I think he threw up as well. But at the end of the day, they found a way to shake hands at the net, hypothetically saying, and work it out.
Monfils didn't start the ball until, he spoke to him and made sure that it was okay.
Now, an interesting fact on Gael Monfils. For the past 16 years, Monfils has won a tournament every single year in that span of time, except for right now in 2021. Do you think that he will keep that streak going? Or does he have – now, there's not just the U.S. Open left. There's a couple little tournaments here and there. And I think you have Paris after the U.S. Open, which is in his backyard. Does he have a chance to keep that streak going, even if it's at a 250 or a 500? Does he have a chance to keep that streak going?
Who,
Monfils? He's won a tournament every year for 16 years in a row. This is the first year that he has not won a tournament.
I don't think he'll win one this
year. You don't think he's got it?
No, not this year.
Interestingly, how these players are fading. Not TM. He's just out. Federer, Nadal, Monfils, these players are starting to fade, and we have to ask ourselves, how many of these players are replaceable, right? Mm-hmm. How many of them are replaceable? I still don't think we have seen the future of men's tennis. Mm-hmm. Can you tell me anyone out there right now that if Djokovic goes away, that is going to come in and win, major after major after major after major? Have you seen the future of men's tennis yet? Is the future of men's tennis on tour right now, or are we still waiting to meet him?
No, I think we're going to see quite a few different winners.
I think we're still waiting to meet the future of men's tennis. Mm-hmm. The Big Three's record, however many Djokovic ends up with, will be broken one day. Records are made to be broken, right? No one thought Babe Ruth's record would be broken until Mark McGuire and Sammy Sosa started shooting steroids, right? Anyway, I didn't mean to bring that up, but nonetheless, records are made to be broken. It will break one day, but there's no one right now playing right now that would even come close to approximating breaking that record.
Michael Walker says Monfils has won a tournament for 15 years straight.
I think it's 16.
A tournament.
Not
one specific tournament.
Yeah,
he's won
tournament.
At least one
just
title.
One tournament.
One title.
On his I think
one title is what he's meaning.
One title every year for the past 16 years.
It doesn't matter. It could be a 250, 500.
Yeah.
One.
But at whatever, if for 16 years he has won a title until this year. Mm-hmm. Pretty good stat. I saw this last night on
Jack Nolte said, who's the most entertaining player to watch?
Adult humor in a bad way would be Kyrgios. In a bad way. Not really
Monfils,
good humor.
Obviously, is very entertaining to watch, in my opinion. Santoro was one that I enjoyed. That was very entertaining.
Of all time or currently?
Oh, of all time? Currently?
Well, what's the young man from India? Well, actually, he's probably in his 50s that does all the tricks videos. He's from India, and he does all this crazy stuff. Do you know what I'm talking about? Have you guys ever seen this gentleman from India that travels around exhibitions and mics up and does all these crazy, awesome? He'd probably be the most entertaining. That's his job to be. He's like the Harlem Globetrotters of tennis, right? You never seen this guy?
Yeah. So Michael Walker said, I believe he's only won 9 tournaments in his career. All right, let's look up the stats.
Yeah, no, this was last night, and they were talking about it on the Tennis Channel. So that wasn't my thing. It definitely wasn't me. You can look it up. But
he's got 10 career titles.
I don't know how they figured it out, but it was 16 years. He's won a title every year. If not, call out the Tennis Channel for sure. And it was on during Monfils and Rublev's match, I think.
Playing style.
I think so. Anyway, I don't know if he plays challengers or ITF events or whatever throughout his career. But anyway, check it out. If not, I'll call out the Tennis Channel.
Yeah.
But anyway, I do think the streak ends. However, that streak was manifested. I do think it ends. I don't think he wins the title this year.
Okay.
All right.
I'm trying to find it, but I can't find it. All righty. Let's see. Michael's that is true, he says.
Yeah, I know it. Well, I would think that the Tennis Channel had enough producers to come up with the facts before the people read it off the teleprompter. But yeah.
Ben Fricker says, when do you think Felix will win his first final?
Who, Ashe? Mm-hmm. Did he win a title in Mexico?
He has not won a title.
Oh, so he lost to Jiri.
He's lost every final that he's played.
He went to an Acapulco final and lost to Laszlo Jiri?
Every final he's lost that he's played. I don't know. Chris Cooper says, no dominate force. This last 15 years were so dominated by the big three. To beat 2 of them in one event was a task at hand by the up-and-comers. Way too hard.
What's up, Hot Potato? Nice to see you there. The comment went by real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Who is from Iran?
Manzoor Bahrami is from Iran.
I welcome if he's out there.
No, he's talking about the player you're talking about.
Who?
Is that the Indian guy that you thought he was Indian?
Oh, okay, the trick guy.
Yes.
Thank you for that. Yeah, I didn't know his name, but every time I see him, I'm captivated by it because the skills to be able to do that and the practice that goes into doing such has to be intense, right?
We're gonna have to find that stat and then send that. One of our viewers, Michael Walker, says it's not true about.
Look, if maybe we can rewind the match because I have all the matches recorded and then I can just film it for him and then send it to him. Yeah. So I can probably do that. Anyway, that's not something I came up with. We take notes when we watch the matches, and it was something that was discussed for a little while last night. All right, next thing, Ashley Barty is making a real solid case right now that she's the best in the world, not on some fluke thing, not because Naomi Osaka's not playing, not because of blah 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 blah, because she is the one that continues to win. It is, in my opinion, is creating the case for being by far the best female consistently on tour right now.
That's probably what he made a final every
maybe
year
it was
for
final
16 years. Yeah, that makes more sense because that's exactly what I found out right here, that he's made a final for the last 16 years.
Okay, well, they said it wrong, but that sounds more reasonable,
Yeah.
Given that when you look at it on Wikipedia, which we just did, that I didn't do. I just took their word for it. So don't believe everything you hear, everything you see, and everything you read. But anyway.
Breaking news.
Yeah.
Hannah Kournikova coming back to professional tennis. Let's see how many believe me.
Yeah, right. Does everyone think that Ashley Barty right now is by far the most consistent player on the WTA tour?
Yes, she beat Kournikova. I saw that. Yeah, and Kournikova, who's been doing very well, she beat her.
She has variety. She has poise. She has a little bit of spunk when necessary. I think she is by far the best player on tour right now. She stays in shape. I don't see her chunky than not. I don't see her scrunchy than no.
Clijsters is gone. Where is Clijsters gone? Gone. She's gone.
Clijsters doesn't have a shot anymore.
Yeah, she should have never even tried to come back.
By the way, NFL football, National Football League, U.S. football. I'm a huge fan. It starts soon. Can't wait. Let's go 49ers. I know there might be some Giants fans out there. But nonetheless, I can't wait. So if there's any football fans out there, let me know. All right, let's take comments for the rest of the show because that's all I got in terms of info.
Well, so I was saying the people that are out of the U.S. Open, we got Nadal, Federer, Wawrinka, Coric, Edmund, Halep, maybe because she has a tear.
It's unfortunate for Coric. Coric at one point in time was on my list of future top 10 players. I think he made it to number 9 in the world at one point though. But he was beyond my list of just top 10 players. He was on my list when I first came across Coric many years ago of being a multiple Grand Slam winner. Now we can't seem to get into a tournament.
TM, right? TM is the other one that's out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I think we'll still have a great U.S. Open.
Can you poll question something for me? Do we have a new winner this year at the U.S. Open? On men's, do we have a new champion on the men's side this year at the U.S. Open?
Do we have a new men's?
I think Djokovic takes it. I think he's prepping for that, and I think he wants that 21. I think next year will be a completely different story, but I think this year, U.S. Open 2021, Novak Djokovic ends the season by attaining the 21. That's just my thoughts.
Remember when I called myself the Black Bud Collins? I know my facts when it comes to tennis history. Yes, I know Michael Walker.
Yeah.
I know. And you let's see, yes. 80 so far. We got 7 votes to say yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll see. So we have 86% of people thinking.
I just think we'll be shocked. I mean, Djokovic has been very quiet.
So,
very quiet.
So 86% of people right now, 67.
67.
So 67% of you think that. 50% now. So it's half and half. So, I was about to say, I think we're biased voting at this point. But again, it's really tough. I mean, as a betting person, if someone gave you $1,000 and with that $1,000, the only thing you could do with it would be to place a bet. So you either got $1,000 to place a bet or they just didn't give it to you. So you had to. Would you bet on Djokovic or the field? Right now it's split. I think if I was given $1,000 and I had to bet it, I would go ahead and take Djokovic. I don't know who else has proven to me that they're going to be consistent enough and reliable enough to be the person that you bet on before the tournament starts.
It says for life, Novak is definitely the favorite, but I think it would be Medvedev or Zverev. Yeah, I agree. I mean, he is, of course, the favorite. Chris Cooper says, Michael Walker, what did Bud Collins comment about Borg fans who were female?
I don't know. Interesting question.
I don't know. Sister the Queen says Djokovic game goes off when Fed and Nadal are not around. 2016 vibes.
That's an interesting statement. So, Carla and I, we coach, and a lot of times we see players that are way better than someone else lose. Like we see a competitive ball striking player lose to a pusher. But what happens is the competitive ball striking player gets on the court with the pusher and they play down to their level. They never really get entertained. They never really get the pace that they want. So their game falls apart. So that's a good comment. Why? Because that's true. Psychologically, maybe Federer and Nadal not being in this tournament to push psychologically Novak to get to that third gear.
Yeah, because
maybe that will hurt him.
Both of the guys push him because he wants to beat them.
He wants to beat them, but they're not there. So maybe that might be the comment of the day there. I didn't think about that. That's a really good comment, actually.
Yeah, and
seriously,
I haven't heard a lot of Novak fans like they were so sure, like at the French Open that at the Australian Open they kept saying he's going to win everything, Olympics, everything. I haven't heard many of them say anything anymore.
I don't know. We'll see. I know that there is no more clear favorite in tennis history than Novak Djokovic winning this one. Now, whether it happens or not, I don't know. Now, betting odds in Vegas, I checked them. Novak Djokovic is minus 150, meaning if you have $150, you go to Vegas and say, or call in your bookie, hey, I want to bet $150 on Novak Djokovic. But if you win, you only get $100. So if you lose that bet, you lose 150. Actually, you lose juice. You lose 165. So if you bet 150 and lost, you have to pay the bookie 165. And then if you won that bet, the bookie would give you a $100 bill. So he's the only favorite, and it's not a huge favorite, but that's a favorite that I would take in the football gambling world. And that's something I did for a long time. I would study and I would put down 40, 50 bets a week, parlay and everything. There's an old saying that when the favorite is the favorite for a long time, don't bet on that favorite. Also, if the spread goes down, take the favorite. If the spread goes up, take the underdog. So these are all things that are happening with Djokovic here. So from a historical perspective of betting on football, that which I did it for a long time. I would say the house looks like they're going to win on gambling history if you took the minus 150. But again, that's just a hypothesis. That is luck. So anyway, gambling odds, I wouldn't bet on Djokovic, but I think he's the clear favorite.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Serena Williams was more of a short bet in 2015 to win CYGS in 2015.
Is that when she lost to Vinci?
Yeah. Simone says, without Djokovic, Zverev. So that's my prediction. Chris Cooper says, Michael Walker, don't shoot me. I'm the only piano player. Her said that Borg gave her borgasms.
Yeah, we always have fun talking about isms on this show. And by the way, this coming up Tuesday, when we do our Trash Talk Tuesday, I already have, and this is for this guy 1000. This guy 1000, after we finished the last show, I think he was upset at us because we knocked on Federer for a little while, but that's okay. Love you anyway. But I think he made a comment that there's no way in the tennis world, or it's going to be hard to come up with trash talk every Tuesday. Bro, I already got 2 pages, man. I'm not going to spill the beans yet, but I got trash talk about this. I got trash talk about that. I got trash talk about this. I got trash talk about that. And one of those things is trash talking all these new isms and acronyms. That's on the list. So anyway, and I got another trash talk about that. So Trash Talk Tuesday is already taking shape, and it's only Friday.
Yes, this guy.
Let's go.
So far, the votes are yes, 52%, no, 48%. So it's close.
All right.
All right, guys.
Earlier today, Carla and I tried to play right before lesson. I couldn't because my mind just wasn't working right. We said it was yesterday, but it was this morning too. I couldn't hit. Oh, we were playing doubles. Playing doubles, and I couldn't serve, but I feel a little bit better now. So would you privy me in hitting for an hour or so?
No.
Let's go. I'm getting a tattoo soon. And
pretty soon I'll be tired of playing tennis.
Look, I'm getting a tattoo soon, and it's 3 L's. L in cursive. I'm going to get L. On this arm, I have like
I'm really dark, by the way.
So I have like
tell Ben the sun.
So yeah, I have like a J and a D here, and then all the rest of my kids' initials fall down this arm. But I'm gonna get a new one, and it's gonna be 3 like old English L's in all black, kind of shaded in, and the L's stand for Latin because she's Latin, lascivious because she's lascivious, and lover. She's my triple L. So that's my nickname for Carla. I finally told you that after all these years. I see Carla. She's my triple L, my Latin lascivious lover. Let's go. Triple L, raising hell.
Fans 2497 said, where is this comment?
Oh, it's right there. He said we should do a segment on grunting. Okay, so fans 2947, by the way, we have done numerous shows on grunting. We'll leave this show with a grunt off, okay? We're going to do a grunt off real quick. We have done a screech off and a grunt off before, and we have done a show on grunting. We've actually talked about doing a screech off. And instead of matches going to tiebreakers between the women, we decided that it would be best for tennis if they had a screech off. So if Halep and Azarenka,
I don't feel like done that.
If Halep and Azarenka split sets, instead of having the third set, they would just come to the net. The referee would have a screech meter, and whoever hit the highest decibel would win. All right. All right, we won't do it now, but nonetheless, we have done a lot of those, but we will do it again.
We need a doorknob too, so we got to make sure
we will do it again. So for all of you, so whether it's a stuffed pig that you want to hear, Azarenka, whether it's someone getting their legs sawed off, Sabalenka, whether it's Sharapova who just stepped on a rusty nail coming down the staircase pregnant, like in the movie A Quiet Place, remember that?
Oh, she didn't scream though.
Whether it's Schiavone who's getting her freaking legs hindered and quartered by 4 horses. Who else is it? Oh, whether it's who is it? Is it Danielle Collins? Who's the really loud American squealer? What's her name?
Risk.
Is it Jennifer? Oh, Risk. Yes. Risk sounds like she's about to risk her big toe getting cut off in a damn vice on the damn local hardware store table. Oh man. Anyway, take care. Much love to all of you, and don't forget the U.S. Open quali starts soon. Don't forget, if you're playing our 2 competitions, one competition, someone's going to win $300 or a new tennis racket of your choice, or a real 660 feet of Y-Tech strings, which if you're a stringer like we are, that's worth about $500 to you.
Look what Chuku said.
What? Okay, that's a good comment. Comment of the day. She always says Chuku, but it's actually Chukwamika. He says he doesn't mind the ladies groaning. I don't either. That's why I love my Latin lascivious lover.
Grunt. I don't moan. Bye.